Hi everyone, today I'm talking to Jackie Wilkinson and we'll be discussing how to improve your life well-being with nutrition. So Jackie, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Lorraine. I'm Jackie Wilkinson and I'm into food. I teach nutrition. I bring people a message of hope. I want people to enjoy a more vibrantly healthy life. And so I help people to learn to eat well.
Excellent. And what originally inspired you to pursue a career in nutrition?
I didn't originally pursue a career in nutrition. I am a scientist. So I had quite a career change. Uh, I'll take you back. I You might not be able to see on the screen, but my eyes don't point in the same direction. And my brain decided very early on that it would only take messages from one or the other. And so I see in 2D. And that meant at school, I couldn't catch anything, I couldn't hit anything. Nobody wanted to play with me. Um, if there were teams for netball or rounders, or we were doing tennis or badminton, I was always the last because I was terrible at everything. But I sort of felt sporty inside. And then I discovered archery. And I saw it and thought, oh, that looks like fun. I'll give it a go. And you only need one eye. So it was fantastic. Here was something I could do, and my bad performance didn't affect anybody else. So I was part of the group. Um, we would go to little competitions and I'd come last out of everybody, but I didn't care because I loved it. And then something clicked suddenly, and I won everything. I won the little friendly competitions we went to. I won the national inter-universities championships. So here am I, the kid in the glasses with 2D vision, and I'm a sportswoman. And that was fantastic.
That's amazing, that is such a transformation.
Such a transformation. Such a
And it
transformation.
just shows you can change from one thing. So there's many transformations I find throughout life, you can change careers so drastically. I've got two part-time jobs at the moment, my part-time therapy business and my part-time office job, and they're completely different. But it's all about balance. So when you were an archer, did you know at the time you were going to be a scientist?
I was already a scientist. I was studying physics. But the thing that made the switch, because I had quite a successful career in science, the thing that really made the switch was what I was eating. So, having got good at archery, the next thing that happened, not many years later, was this. So,
Ooh.
the kid in the glasses now is not just a sportswoman, but an international sportswoman. And on the British squad, we had a nutritionist one year, and she looked at what we were eating and she suggested changes that we could make, which I did. So this being on the team was just the most wonderful thing. Discovering archery was the most wonderful thing, and being on the team was the most wonderful thing. And being told what to eat by the nutritionist on the British squad was possibly the worst thing that's ever happened to me, because her advice did me a lot of harm. And I had 10 years being hungry all the time, tired all the time, overweight, bad skin, dizzy spells, mood swings. It was shocking. It was shocking. And then I got really ill, and I was ill for a year and a half, and I had to go down to part-time working, and that ended my high-flying science aspirations. And I was trying anything that might make me feel better. And somebody said, you know, we're not all the same, and you can have your metabolic type tested. Oh, never heard of that. So I did, radically changed my diet, and that made my switch of career. Yeah.
Excellent. So, what does the metabolic test involve?
It's not anything nasty like blood or biological samples. It's really about questions, and I get people to eat test meals to see how their body responds directly to that mix of foods. And people are usually really surprised because we just eat and then we get on with the next thing, don't we? We rarely pause to think how we feel after eating something.
Yeah, a lot of people, they will, particularly if they're very busy, you know, and they're working, and they'll pop out on the lunch break and
Yeah.
and there's so many people with the afternoon lull because the food is draining them instead of energizing them.
I had it every day. I had it every day, and it was awful. And I would be in meetings with important people who were saying interesting things, and I would just yawn, and I could not stop it. It was really embarrassing. Yeah. But I don't get that now, and I'm not hungry all of the time, and I'm not tired all of the time. I'm in my 30s, I was a mess, and I'm 61 now, and I feel 19. And that's what food can do. And I think people so underestimate the impact on their lives when they eat badly. Mm.
Yeah, there's so many misconceptions about healthy eating as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Because everybody's different. Even from just, you know, within my friends and family, there's some that don't tolerate dairy. There's some people that, particularly pastry, I find is particularly bad for a lot of people.
Mm.
And, you know, what do you think about all these different fad diets, vegan, raw, you know, pescatarian?
Yeah, I think fad diets are a problem. People will latch onto something and they'll go, oh, let's try this. Because I'm a scientist, I've approached this differently. And so I like people to think about food in a different way. And I start from what does your body need? And I get people to think about nutrition rather than what does the fad diet tell me I've got to eat now? What does your body actually need? When I get some food, is it going to provide what my body needs? Is it going to give me those building materials? Because we renew ourselves all of the time, and we can only do that with the things that we eat.
And what do you think about intermittent fasting?
Intermittent fasting has been shown to be beneficial for us. As a species, we're quite good at coping with unreliable food supply. So we store fat. A lot of animals don't do this. We store fat that we can then use to live on when there isn't food. So intermittent fasting is quite good for your health, and it rests your digestive system. The stomach is a batch processor. You know, it's not a continuous line. So it's the grazing thing is really for cows, you know, not human beings. And it's good to eat and then have a big gap before eating again, and especially overnight.
Yeah.
So stopping eating earlier, starting eating later, and sort of shrink that window can be very beneficial. And some people can tolerate fasts of a whole day. Some people can't. We're all different, but it does have health benefits. Mm,
Good to know. I'm thinking of bringing that in more frequently,
yes.
doing like eating within an 8-hour window
Yeah.
then, so that it's something that's more manageable. And we've talked briefly about people who are very busy. What
Mm,
do you give people that are struggling with a busy lifestyle? I mean, I do some batch cooking and things like that. Have you got any
that's
other?
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, batch cooking is great. And um, having something that you can just grab that you have made, it's like a ready meal, but it's not a ready meal. It doesn't have all the downsides of ready meals and takeaways. I have a big downer on those because they're so low in nutrition and so high in chemicals. So yes, home cooking, preparation. Somebody put a post up recently about a breakfast that they bought at a cafe on a business park. Now, I would expect to be disappointed if I went to a cafe on a business park to try and buy my breakfast. But if you're a busy person, there are things that you can make the night before. And I've been doing some work with quite long journeys in the last few weeks. And so the night before, I have made a mixture based on yogurt and fruit and ground seeds and protein powder. And then I can put that in my car, set off very early, drive for an hour, stop and eat it. And that sets me up for the next 6 hours. So preparation, I think, is good. Mornings are just, people have too much to do in the morning. They might have children to take to school or give them their breakfast. Do it the night before when you make your dinner, and then it's ready. And same with lunches. I took my own lunch with me because I know if I eat the sorts of lunches on offer, I'm going to have the slump in the afternoon. I made an omelette pizza to take to one of them. It's a John Gabriel recipe. It's on YouTube, wheat-free pizza. Brilliant. That lasts a long time as well. Keeps your energy up, stops you collapsing in the afternoon.
Yeah, because it makes a difference, doesn't it? The energy release, because there's, the sugary foods, there's just an instant boost and there's no nutrition, and then you're back down again. It's better to have the gradual energy release, isn't it? Have you got any particular favorite foods that you like?
I like lots of foods, and the body likes variety. Eating the same thing every day isn't so good for us. Eating lots of the same thing every day can lead to food intolerances, and we've got lots of those now. Most of the processed foods are made out of a handful of ingredients, just packaged in different ways. So variety is really good.
And how do your clients benefit from your services as you progress with them?
Some of them say to me they've got their lives back because, like I was, they've been dragging themselves through life and it's all been a struggle. People talk about lack of time, but often it's lack of energy. And when people get their energy back, that changes everything. People have health conditions that just go away, like irritable bowel syndrome just goes away. Eczema just about clears completely just by changing diet. So lots of things can be significantly helped when you
And do you
change
see
your
your
diet.
clients, do you mostly see them in person or on Zoom?
That depends on their preference and where they live. Clients far away, I see on Zoom. Clients nearby, they sometimes choose to meet face to face. That's really nice. And of course, people on Zoom can't get samples, but I can talk about things that they could buy, that they could try. If people want, snacking, if you eat really well, you don't really need to snack. But if people are still on I need something, then if I'm with them, I could give them a bit of fresh coconut. But if they're on Zoom, I could say to them, go and get a coconut and see if you enjoy that as a snack, something like that.
Yeah. Whereabouts in Cumbria are you?
I am on the west coast of Cumbria near Whitehaven. It's quite a long way from everywhere. But Zoom is great, isn't it?
Seems great. It's international.
Yeah.
And we're coming up to Christmas now. Have you got any health tips for those difficult times when people are trying to push cakes in your face?
They do, don't they? And often it's to make them feel better. They say, I'll have a bit if you'll have a bit. No. I used to love watching Dr. Phil on television, and he would say, if you buy a cake, he calls it chemical cake. That's not quite so appealing. If you think of it as chemical cake, it's not so appealing. So make your own cake. We had a bit of Christmas cake last night, actually. I just fancied some. I made them in October. There they are. I can have a bit of that. And there's no chemicals in because I put all the ingredients in myself. But there are, as you were talking about the sugar earlier, sugar is a big, big problem. And it is an energy robber, really, because what you get is a spike and then a dip. So you always get a dip after a spike. And the more sugar you eat, the less energy you're going to end up with. And what people sort of know sugar's bad, but what they don't think about is starchy foods, which Dr. Unwin calls soon to be sugar. Because it only takes about 20 minutes to become free sugars again. And actually, there are lots of things around now that are made of flour. I'm thinking about mince pies, as well as the cakes. And if I can just try and make that straightish, is that straightish?
Yeah.
This is showing, this is a brilliant diagram that David Unwin created. He's won awards for this. The amount of effect on your blood sugar after eating starchy foods, and it's enormous. So those diagrams are all available on the Public Health Collaboration website, just to help people realize that if they eat pastry, pies, cakes, biscuits, even pasta or potatoes, rice, their blood sugar is going to go up quite a lot. And every time that happens, they're going to produce insulin, which will then shuttle that off and you'll make new fat. But also you'll be damaging your health. Every time that happens, you're really not helping your body. So that's the sort of thing that I'll explain to people so that they can think about what they're putting in.
And I noticed you've got some recipes on your website.
I do have recipes on my website, yes. I've done a few series, and I've actually put some together in a little booklet that I sell called Eat Well and Save. People say, oh, I'd like to eat real food, but it's too expensive. It's not too expensive, it's cheaper. And the adverts want you to think that the processed things are cheap and easy and convenient and there's no problem eating them. But actually, if you eat real food, you can save a load of money as well as benefiting your health and feeling great. I want people to feel great. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I have an organic veg box delivered, Moreland's Veg, and it stops you going to the supermarket as often. So the fact that you're not going into a supermarket and picking up other stuff, it makes you save.
Yeah.
So, any final tips before I let you go?
I think of a meal as containing plants and proteins and fats. So when people are having something, I always say, have you got those three things? And people say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I say it's the most important meal to get right. and it's the one that's most commonly done very badly, because people tend to eat things like breakfast cereal, which is dire, or toast and jam, which is just sugar. So I think, have you got any plants, proteins, and fats in your breakfast? And so I do have a blog on my site about breakfasts with different ideas, but that yogurt mix I took in the car is an example that's got the protein in, it's got the plants in, it's got fats in. I put some cream in as well. People tend to avoid fat, and that's not helpful either. You really, really need some. So,
No, well, your brain needs fat. I particularly like avocados and things, you know.
yeah, I've had a green smoothie this morning. That's one of my recipes. And that's a 6-hour breakfast based on avocado and coconut milk. Brilliant. I put a raw egg in mine as well. Some people don't do that.
Excellent. So where can people find you? What's your website?
My website is learntoeatwell.co.uk, and I'm on LinkedIn as well. And if people want to get in touch, I'd be very happy to speak to them and explore if there's anything I can do to help them enjoy a more vibrantly healthy life.
That's great. And I'll put all the links below for people to find you. So lovely to chat to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Lorraine.